If you are only selling one-on-one group programs and courses in your online coaching business, you are missing a totally untapped market that you as an expert could be into today if you knew the steps that I'm going to break down in this video. So I'm going to show you how you could turn your online coaching business offers into corporate clients. Yes, Fortune 500 companies, nonprofits, universities that have budgets to pay experts like you. They just don't know you yet. I'm going to break this down for you in 3 simple steps, but let me tell you, the third step is going to bring this all the way together. So you want to make sure you stay to the end, get that last step, because without that, the first 2 don't even matter. So let's go ahead and dive in. If you are new to me, my name is Kirsten Allen. I'm an ex-Fortune 500 account executive turned entrepreneur that now supports experts, companies, and entrepreneurs in getting more corporate clients. I'm obsessed about this topic. I've sold over millions of dollars, and so you're in the right place to learn the steps that you can take in your online coaching business. Let's dive in. First things first, I already assume that you're an expert. You have frameworks, you have testimonials, you have all the things, right? So this isn't for the newbies. If you just got started, you don't have any results yet, you're just trying to figure out how to get $1, this isn't for you. Go ahead and log off. This is for the people that's been in the game, you know the game. If I sit you in a room, you can walk someone through the steps and get them to an outcome. Corporate clients want you. That is the first thing. I said number 1, but that's like the precursor to understand that corporate clients are always looking to bring in thought leaders, experts, people who know this space well, that they can bring in to solve business problems. Most people don't understand that they actually have value. Maybe you're thinking, well, I work with entrepreneurs. I've helped them to be able to do this. What does this look like in a corporate landscape? How can I be able to help people with what I know without stepping on their toes? Maybe they already have a team that does this. All the things that go through our head to stop us, in addition to some of the emotional things. Well, what if they don't respond? It's big company and it's little me and all those things. Scratch the record. Let's go ahead and stop us on a clean slate. The first thing to understand in this process is your value to organizations. Companies only pay to do 2 things, either to make more money or save more money. You're already doing that, right? Especially if you work with entrepreneurs. Your whole thing is probably about helping them to make more money in some type of way, whether that's content, marketing, sales, all the things that you do within your coaching program or when you're working with people one-on-one. So you've already had the game. Now you need to learn the language that companies use in order to know, like, hey, this is what I need. So when it comes to making more money and save more money, it comes down to their people, their processes, and their procedures. So where do you fall in terms of helping people do that? I would say most people that have an online coaching business, they have something that can either support people or something that's more tactical and can support a process like marketing or maybe finance or something to that effect, right? But if you're working with people on their development, you're helping them with areas of mental health, emotional health. Maybe you're helping them with leadership and things like that. You're probably going to fall in the people side. In that space, HR professionals are going to be your best friends. Those are going to be people you want to connect with. More on that in step 2, but let's just get really clear here on what is your value that you add. I want you to just take a moment and think about it. If I came into a company, am I going to help them make more money or I'm going to help them save more money? Do I have a process that I can teach that can help them be more effective? Or do I have a way of working with people to help them be more effective at work, productive, stress-free, able to deal with people in a different way when it comes to communication or emotional intelligence? I bet if I sat with you right now, you have a whole toolbox of things that could be leveraged in companies. You just need to understand that they pay for these things to get right so that they can be more successful. I would say the easiest thing to focus on is something that involves people. I shared this on another video, but in general, companies spend so much money on professional and leadership development. It's crazy. The school system in my county, well, not in my county, but a surrounding county spends $400,000 just in professional development for one school district. Imagine what a Fortune 500 company spends. Millions, right? There's several leaders. all types of programs, all types of professional development, and many different ways to do it. So this is another piece of your value. You have a unique approach and way that you do things. The outcome that you're going to get, helping people be more productive at work, helping them lower stress and burnout, these are terminology and things that they understand. The way in which you do it is going to be unique to you, which you can leverage and play up. I tell people that it really doesn't matter how you do it, right? You could talk to them about that as long as it gets results. That's what they're looking for. What is the outcome that they're going to achieve? So let me give you an example of this to really break down this value piece that'll be helpful for you. So I worked with a woman who actually had a extremely diverse background, but the area that she was really focused on was more of the softer spirituality niche. And she worked with people to help them tap into their creativity using different methods that she used and were able to hone in on and build expertise on in her business, right? So she had worked with individuals, group coaching clients, one-on-one, all of that, right? She came to me and she's like, I'm really the opposite of corporate. Like, I don't, I'm not buttoned up in a suit doing all of these things. But I have worked with, individuals who are a part of corporations. I've done leadership consulting or coaching with them, and they were able to be more successful and creative at work. So I'm like, okay, well, if that's true, then that means you have value to a company. And so what we were able to do was just change and shift her language. And she was able to find a very niche part of corporations that were salivating over the things that she had to offer. And again, it was the most off the wall stuff. It's not sitting in a conference room, watching slides. It is very experiential. It's drums, it's singing, it's all these different things that you would never think a company would be interested in. But let me tell you, there were some creative marketing agencies and events who wanted to get more experiential stuff like that. And they, again, were very interested in all the things that she had to offer. She didn't have to change herself. She didn't have to put on a suit. She didn't have to change her voice. Who she was valuable to these organizations just as she was. And again, they were interested in that. So knowing your value is staying true in who you are, but understanding what are those hot button things that companies are having issues with right now, and how can I position proven solutions to solve that problem. LinkedIn is another great place to find what those hot button problems are, in addition to the example I gave. So let's get into step 2. Now, remember, I gave you a little precursor to that because now that you've identified it, you need to know who exactly you're looking for. I've seen people just jump out and start sending emails and they get discouraged because people don't respond or whatever the case may be. And you have to understand, these companies do not work for you. They don't open their email to respond to you. So if you're not in the right place, if you're not saying the right thing, they're not going to play Where's Waldo to figure out who you need to be speaking with, right? So you've got to do your due diligence. You've got to have some clarity either by research or getting support to understand what those spaces are and where you need to be. The right person is key. If you don't have it, you've already lost. So if I had to narrow this down with the examples that we gave before, like with the people side, again, that's HR, leadership development programs, meeting planners that plan events where they need keynote speakers and workshop hosts or workshop facilitators. Employee experience. If we're talking about mental health and wellness, there may be someone there that's a wellness lead, not benefits, so to speak, even though that could be someone that you could be speaking with. But again, who is coming and bringing in trainers and experts to come in and talk about these things? Now, I mentioned to you early on my background, sales professional, B2B, know this world, right? We had a ton of different outside people come in and do various types of training about speaking, presenting, sales stuff, online stuff, LinkedIn, so many different things. These companies were getting these contracts to come in and to speak to us as sellers. So if you do anything that relates to sales, whether it is directly selling, it could be being a better presenter or communicator because we're in constant conversation with clients. And again, that's a hot button topic because as a salesperson, if you can help me be more successful in my communication when I'm dealing with clients, that is the difference between winning or losing $1 million deal. They're going to spend money on making sure their salespeople are sharp in every single area that's going to affect them being able to close a deal. So that's an example for you. If you are a communication person, if you are a speaker person, emotional intelligence, whatever the case may be, sales teams need you. They need to be better communicators so that they can make more money. That's what companies want. That's the language that you need to speak. All right, so the right person is going to be important. Where you can find them: LinkedIn, in their email inbox, in-person engagements. That's like my trifecta. Whenever I'm working with people, those are the 3 areas that we look to be able to connect with people. LinkedIn is like a dictionary, encyclopedia, all of them. You can find all information there. When I tell you there's more people than any one of us could ever serve from a corporate context on LinkedIn, trust me, you will never run out of contacts if you know the right people to look for. I start with a Hot 100 list. That's like something that's popular in the marketing world, but it's really around who are the companies and organizations that I want to work with. Hot tip real quick. It's not just companies like the ones that are sitting all across my desk that I purchase from, Fortune 500 companies. Those aren't the only ones. In fact, you could be getting some very lucrative contracts from companies that you may not have even heard before, and probably deal with a lot less red tape. That's number one. Other thing is universities. Those are one of my favorite clients to work with. They have budgets to bring in speakers, workshop facilitators, all types of things. Nonprofits, not talking about the mom and pops that have a mission and just trying to get started. Established nonprofits, Red Cross, Boys and Girls Club, not even just those names, but large organizations that have budgets and have large staff. They need training. They need development. If that is a part of your area, you should be there as well. In addition to K-12 organizations and other institutions that also need this training as well. Again, more opportunities exist than people are going after. This is still very much a blue ocean. Now, when it comes to those other organizations, there may be a different person that you would want to talk to. So nonprofit might be executive directors or director of leadership development training, could be similar. Universities may be student activities or the HR professionals in that university, because you could train the staff, you could train the students. So many different opportunities. All right. Finding your person. So use that trifecta that I mentioned to be able to connect with people who actually make the decisions, And all you got to do is ask. The third step that puts this all together is understanding how to sell to corporations. Y'all, this is where people miss. They walk into these situations where they get to meet people and they're coming up and saying, well, what do you have for someone who does X, Y, and Z? Red flag. And I know it sounds like, well, why would people do that? I've had a lot of conversations with company leaders, and I've heard that more often than not, that's how people come to situations where they're working with companies as if they're at a career fair. Please do not do that. You need to do your homework and be very clear, but also understanding what the sales process is. So understanding budget cycles, fiscal years, the different types of decision makers. You may be talking with one person, but they may have a VP or a manager who needs to get involved. Understanding when to create a proposal and when not to create a proposal. I could probably do a whole video just on that piece so that you don't waste your time as an entrepreneur. One thing about this space and why I'm so thankful to sit in this intersection is there is one side of how companies do business, and then there's another side for you as an entrepreneur and what's going to be the best bang for your buck in terms of time and in terms of resources that it takes to acquire these clients. It does not have to take months and months and months to get a corporate client when you know what you're doing, when you know how to sell, when you know what your discovery call questions need to be to get the right information to determine, am I going to create a proposal? When you know what terms need to be in your contract so it doesn't take you months to get paid, and you know how to turn that one contract opportunity into multiple contract opportunities. So you only need a few corporate contracts every year to really blow up your business in an amazing and impactful way. And if you want to understand how to use these one-off opportunities and turn them into multiple contracts, then you want to check out this video that I did breaking down exactly how to do that. Because as you're building these relationships, you don't want to just think about one time. You want to start planting from the very first meeting how you can go deep and wide with this organization so that you can be a value add to them. And then this can also be a relationship that, again, creates massive success in your business. So go ahead, go on over to that video, and I will see you there. And if you're thinking, listen, I need to get some help on this, go ahead and check the description for all the ways that you can work with me to get support on getting more contracts in your business. I'll see you in the next video.